When people get my age, the two things they look for when they get into a building is a restroom and a place to sit down. Well, you know, he was like Earnhardt, the early Earnhardt, intimidator a la carte. He was, if you were in front of him, you almost wish you were behind him. So. But he was a, as far as I'm concerned, he had more talent for driving a race car than anybody around this area that I ever saw. He really had a desire to win, and I think that's what was Tom Dill's secret. He didn't want any place but first place, you know. And if you happen to be in there in the way, you know, the consequences were your problem letting them catch you. That's the whole thing. But he was a great driver. I remember hearing Tom racing at Daytona on the radio. I remember Barney Hall saying, "Tom Dill of Erie, PA is leading the race right now," you know. So I don't know what part of the race it was or anything, but you know, that made me feel really good for him because, you know, he was down there. Tom was character, and he drove for Joe. I drove for Joe for a number of years, and it was an experience in itself. Joe Mobilia, he was I think Jim said something about him being jumpy or something like that. Well, that's what his nickname was, Jumpy. You know, he could cause more excitement on a racetrack than a feature victory, you know. But he was quite a guy, quite a guy.
I understand he had a quick temper. Is that right, Ken?
No, I just think he had a constant one. I don't think there was any question about quickness. He's one of these people who walked around saying, "I dare you to say something," you know. Yeah, he was quite a guy.
Joe Mobile keeps coming up over and over and over again.
I used to be the troublemaker.
Troublemaker? Why was that, Joe?
Somebody had to be.
That occasionally you would have a short temper. I can't believe that.
No, I was a short.
He was a. When I drove for him, you know, he was always saying if somebody spun you or something like that, you know, "You get out there and you take care of that guy, or I'll put somebody else in this seat." You know, I heard that a lot of times. Probably Tom did. I don't know, but he was. But you know, the guy really loved racing. He really did love racing, and I found out more about him after he passed than I knew about him before. You know, before it was just a kind of a casual relationship every week, you know, go to the racetrack. Julian too. I worked for Julian for a while over in Clymer, and we went to Daytona with him one time for an ARCA race. And I was wondering, were you the one that went with us in the car that time to Daytona when Freddie Knapp drove the car?
No.
No? Okay. Well, anyways. We had a good time. I wouldn't let anybody else drive the car all the way to Florida. I got in the seat. I didn't trust them guys, and that's the way I am. You know, us old truck drivers think we can handle anything, but we went to Daytona there, and Julian, he was a very serious-minded person, you know, and me, I'm you know, kind of a casual cut-up, and I don't take things too serious. Well, some people that are real serious don't really like that attitude, you know. And we were down there, and we had a whistling Ford. I don't know, it had something on that car that was, the air caused it to whistle. But anyways, Freddie was out there trying to get some laps in and stuff, you know. Well, anyways, it's about 10 miles an hour slower than everybody else, and something's wrong with that car, you know. So he goes down in the first turn down there, and big plume of, I thought smoke come out of it, but it was water really. And I turned around to Julian and I said, "I knew there was something wrong with that car." That's what we need, a psychic on our team. Our relationship after that was never the same. And I wasn't really that good, but yet I was there running against Dill and Jim and Squirt and Snars and all that. I was right in the mix, you know. If you beat them once in a while, you really feel good about it, you know. But to say that I ever had that unquenchable desire to win, well, maybe I did to a certain degree, but not to the degree that they did. When I went to Coon Road there, I had an Oldsmobile there. It was a pretty good old car, and went up there for the first time, and I told the guy, the Arkwright Fire, or the, not Arkwright, Hartfield Fire Department had control of the track because the fellow that built the track, he got killed on a grader, so they took it over and was running the track. Well, I got up there and I told them I was supposed to be working. And I had a loaded truck sitting down in Lakewood. I was supposed to be on my way to New York City. And so I got up there and I took the truck home, parked it in the alley, and took the race car and went to Coon Road. And I told the guy up there, I said, now look, I said, I'm not saying I'm going to win anything, but I said, if I do, don't put my name in the paper. I said, my boss will see my name in the paper, and, you know, he's going to start putting two together, and I won't have a job anymore, you know. So, anyways, wouldn't you know, I won the feature that day. So, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I see in the paper on Monday it says, "Mystery Man wins feature at Coon Road." And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool, you know. I even went as far as Mr. X. Well, the better part of that story is that I was hauling grapes here several years back. And I went out to get in my truck, and here's a little sign on my truck, the Mystery Man. Now, where'd that come from? You know, I didn't notice that on there. I said, oh, there was some guy around here that just stuck that on their truck. I said, who was it? Well, I don't know. It's some guy around here, you know. They wouldn't tell me who put it on there. This guy right there is Bill Catania. Bill Catania put that on my truck.
Kenny C.
Thank you.